somewhere in my darkest dreams. It was unlike anything I've ever seen. The sun was fading into the sky. I turned around and wondered why, but I'm gone. Yes, I'm gone.
This is Windy City Redneck, the vodcast. Welcome back. It's been a long time, right? What'd you say? Was that you?
Yeah, pull my finger.
Yeah.
Pull my mic cord.
Yeah, you're going to have to get a little closer. So,
okay.
It's been a while. Welcome back to Windy City Redneck, the vodcast. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, you remember us.
We're supposed to sit this way?
Yeah, however you want to do that. You are listening to Liam Durkin in the background from his CD, Behind the Wheel. Our theme song, I'm Gone. And, wow, how appropriate is the title of this song at this point, I'm Gone, considering it's time to batten down the hatches, you know? So thanks to Liam Durkin for letting us use his music, and we'll get right into it. It's been a while since the three of us have been together, and we appreciate you folks joining us, especially on our YouTube. Is that our YouTube channel? Thanks to One More for taking on that endeavor, and thanks to Whiskey Jim for coming in and joining us again. It's been a while. Our last time we were in, it was we're still in season 4. And we're only on episode 4, and it's and it's November. So
it's been a rough summer. Yeah,
it's been rough. So I thought we should probably just go that route, and we don't need to get into too many of the details. But so sorry on the passing of your family member.
Thank you,
and that's at Patrick, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Just came up on 6 months. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. You want to talk about him real quick?
You know what?
Or if you don't,
I know I do. I really do. He was one of the nicest humans you'll ever meet. He was on a dream trip with his son as a Catholic priest, my godson. My wife and I were both the godparents. They went on a pilgrimage to Rome. He saw the Pope the day before, and he had a heart attack in Rome, and the day before they're supposed to come home.
Wow.
Yeah. He just a pleasant, you know him. I mean, you've met him. He had this.
Yeah, I had met him. I mean,
crazy laugh, infectious laugh that would shatter a room. You knew he was in the room because you'd go by his laugh. He left behind a great legacy. Like I said, he was a mechanic. He was one of the best. He was a specialized mechanic, one of only I think less than a dozen in the world that was able to do what he does. He left. He's going to leave a big hole on this earth. I know it's affected my wife pretty heavily. So I don't want to say a whole lot, but we miss him every day. And it was hard. It was very hard.
And I know he meant a lot to your family. You have that huge extended family. And I made it out there. I was only there for a few minutes. I mean, you get such a huge family and stuff. And I thought I'd bring that up because that was just March. It was a couple days after our last episode,
right?
And you needed some time because I know what he meant to your family, especially with your extended family. So we kind of had that on hiatus. You've just been busy as hell too with the kids and just life in general.
I think, and summer is you're always busy in the summer.
Yeah,
and we're always
Well, and our last episode was in March, and then I've had a lot of changes. That if you're friends with me personally or on Facebook, you know that we've had a lot of changes here at the lounge here, and I felt I hit you guys with a text, and I said, I think maybe we've gotten to the end of the road. I think we had a good run, and I ran it by you guys. We did a couple things back and forth. I wish we could have done it personally. We didn't get a chance to do much of that. Mm-hmm. But between your hectic work schedule, your crazy work schedule, and now you're committed to doing some other things, which I want to talk about. Your opportunity to go even further hunting, and taking advantage of that. Shit, I never even went down to the Hornet at all this summer.
Yeah, I've been down there a couple times, but just mowed the lawn.
Yeah, he went down to cut the grass.
Yeah, she's like, your lawn's getting kind of long, so maybe we should, somebody could come down
But
here.
if I remember the text, one of us was always not available. It alternated between the three of us.
Yeah,
one
it
of
was
us
just-
couldn't do.
Yep.
You and I could do once, but he couldn't do it. You and I could do once, and you two could do it, and I couldn't do it.
And mine was always based on whether Roscoe was coming to town.
Right.
And then, so like we've had, when she comes in, she only comes in every couple weeks, and we catch up with her mom. We go out for pizza, and before you know it, the 2.5/3 days that she's here, it's over
It's
like
over.
that.
Yeah, don't blink.
It's hard to squeeze this in, and it seemed like the weekends that you guys were available was the weekend I wasn't.
Right.
So I just figured and I'm not saying that we won't rekindle it. I'm thinking maybe eventually I'm leaving the Chicagoland area and moving west as well, but maybe we could do something where we do it quarterly, or we might be able to figure out the Zoom thing.
Yep.
Yeah, we might be able to figure out the Zoom thing, or it might be a good reason for you two to come out and gamble.
Oh.
We could do a
twist my
poolside. And that's a
It's a dry
stretch.
heat.
That's a stretch because we can't even do it, and we all live 40 minutes apart, and we can't even pull it off here, let alone 1,700 miles away. But that's happy thinking, and I think that's a good perspective to have on it. I hope you both appreciate it. But it's interesting is that the couple people that I've bumped into before we came on air, I was telling you that I met some. Adam and Sherry were at Oktoberfest. They're longtime listeners. They did some of the remotes with us at Rosangela's, and they had nothing but kind comments and stuff. The people I've bumped into, and they're disappointed.
Just like, where you been?
Yeah,
And
some people saying that.
Yeah,
Friend in it?
yeah.
Whatever happened to
What are
that?
your thoughts on the whole thing? Because you were here the infamous day that you didn't want to be any part of it. You sat over there. If we had a wide angle lens, you sat over there.
You're talking about when?
Before I
Oh,
came
before-
When we
Very-
opened when we
season
opened
one.
the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We opened up the box.
I mean,
Don't
if
look at the box.
I'm available, that's the problem. It just seems like every time I'm off,
Yeah.
or you guys are working, or it's during the week, and
Yeah.
you guys are,
Well, so when we started this
I
thing,
work nights.
Yeah, yeah.
5:30 at night to 5:30 in the
when-
morning. It's a little, if you
when-
guys want to, do it at 4:00 in the
Well-
morning,
well-
I'm going to be up.
Yeah, but kudos to you for the seasons that you were involved, being my wingman before Whiskey Jim joined in. Man, I mean, I appreciate everything you've done on the podcast. My reference is that in the beginning, I bought the box of stuff, and if you listen to the first episode, we just had a big cardboard box of stuff, and I looked at everyone in the room, and I said, once I open this up, I can't return it. I said, are we doing this? And everyone was, yeah. Well, all the yeah guys are not. And the one guy who said no, that he didn't want to do it, and it wasn't because he didn't want to, it's just he felt
It was more of a work situation.
it was a work situation, and he and I don't blame you. You're playing it cautiously, which was a smart move. But it's funny how the one guy who sort of wasn't going to be any part of it, didn't think he ever would be, was the guy who stepped up and has been
And he's
nothing
been
but
the technical
but
guy,
has
too. I mean,
been,
yeah,
and has been
Yeah,
nothing.
That's
has
gone
been
so well
has
over
been,
the years.
but you've been
All I
nothing.
bring to this is right here.
Yeah, but you've been an awesome wingman, and I appreciate it, man. So thank you. Thanks for jumping in, and it was good that we finally figured out your code name and got all that figured out. But I'd like to think that some of the episodes that we've done across the way in Whiskey Jim, you came in, and actually, let's point out we got Northwoods Matt's hat in the background. Northwoods Matt,
he'd be here if he could.
Yeah.
yeah, and I felt too like. I'm not trying to place blame or make excuses for it, but I felt, like if Matt were still around, I don't know, maybe it would be different, and maybe we would.
He's kind of the glue that kind of kept bringing you together.
it's
He and I had a pretty good chemistry, I thought. He was sitting next to me, though, the two times that I met him, but
Yeah.
Well, the whiskey helped, too.
both of us.
Didn't somebody have a shirt that said that?
The whiskey helps. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he might have. That might have been him.
But a lot like the interaction you and I have, which I think is awesome. He had it, but he was more serious isn't the right word, but and I'm not. Kind came to word, but I'm not saying you're not kind.
Yeah, fine. That's okay.
You and I are biting, and that's awesome.
No, Matt was a great guy, and he was always the one. Like when you'd call him, he'd be there, Johnny on the spot, and show up. Do how many? What was he in the first 3 episodes or first? second, third, and fourth episodes or whatever.
I don't really remember when he
came on with Mike. He came on by himself, and then he was and then there's
he
the
came in
Camper
and
Clan,
we had the Camper
and then,
Clan.
and then you did the ladies' night or whatever. Yeah,
Did you
He
see
was
that?
at the first
probably
whiskey
the
night.
whole
He was
first
at the
season.
first
He was
whiskey
probably
training night.
every other episode. He was.
Did
in
you
the
see the
first
really
season.
kind message that Jackie
Yes.
post that she did on our
Yeah.
Facebook page?
Yeah.
And we'll read it. We'll, after we take the break, I'll pull that up so
Or do
we
a
can come back
screenshot
from
of
break.
it in the episode.
Yeah, we
You're talking
should
about
do
cut
that.
into it.
And it was really some kind words, and it was really true. I'm getting a little teary eyed thinking about what she posted, but the day that she posted it, I'm just like, damn. It was
Seven
weird.
High Noons probably.
It was today. Today I was driving down Laraway Road, way south, and I was going to 57. And there was a guy that was coming, I think it was called Pfeiffer Road coming north. Same exact fucking truck that Matt drove.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is the irony of that? They didn't have the cap on it. It was that burgundy with the black tires and the it was like, it was kind of ironic. I'm like, what's that? We're doing a podcast tonight and,
Oh, it was today. Okay.
yeah, it was today.
What's the
it was
chances
really-
of seeing something like that?
Yeah, but back to getting back to what we were talking about. Just with everything that's going on and everything, and I feel like I thought about, all right, let's do it every quarter, every once a month or every other month or whatever, and then even trying to do that. I mean, look at it. Our last episode was March 3rd, and we could not muster one up until November. So it's like I felt like it's hard to. I'd rather just sort of stay consistent. I don't know.
It
What are
wasn't
your
from like a
feelings?
trying because we all did try.
Oh, yeah. You went from what? You were doing like an episode every week?
Every other.
Or
We
something
tried
like
doing every week.
And then that got hard.
We did every
Then
other.
went every other.
Yeah.
And then it kind of went like
Let's do once
once a month. Yeah, but you know what I think?
No, once a year.
But I think our shows were better once they were a little further apart. I didn't like when they were 2 months apart or anything like that when we would fall off the wagon. But I felt like when we had one once a month, our content was really good. I'm still going to tell you, season two, episode 5. Winning is everything. It's the funniest fucking episode we've ever done. It's the one we did in the basement.
Is that what's
And
Just
he
Ron?
tells us how to do
Yeah, the
craps.
Just Ron. Yeah, I know.
And he talks about the horse. I'm telling you, I
just
listened
died.
to that. I've
just
been
died.
listening to some of these, and I wind up going back to that one and listening to it over and over again.
It's
It's
pretty good.
funny as hell.
You hear everybody laughing, and we're just
Yeah, well, it was just me, you, me and you.
we were
With him.
pretty liquored up, and then it just when he talked, you just couldn't. You
Oh
were
my
just
god, it
giggling
was the
the whole
greatest.
time. It was just,
But I think that we've had some great content. In the early days, we had in Mark Vraberly.
yeah, that was good. What, 2
That was
episodes?
good.
He did 2, right?
Was it 2 or 3? Right,
Yeah.
right. What was it called? It was should have had the note on that one. Sarah, Hannah, and the marble floor. Is that what
Something
we called
like that.
it?
Yeah, that was one of them.
That was one of them. He was really good. Yogini was great.
Yeah.
You were in on one of the Yogini ones,
Yeah.
right?
And the last 2, we broke it into like 2 or 3 episodes, or
Right.
Yeah.
whatever.
I love her story. I mean, it's a great story.
Yeah.
The tattoo one was great. With
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I forgot about that one now.
tattoos.
God, that was a long night too.
I thought
huh?
he was going to kill me. Just
Oh,
because I was doing what I do with you,
yeah,
and I really thought he was going to kill me.
Yeah, during the break, we're good,
We're
right?
good, right?
Yeah, and actually, did Mark keep on one more on you the other night after I took off? Did you guys stay out late for your son's birthday?
He stayed for a little bit, and then we proceeded to close the place, and then we were in my garage till 4 o'clock in the morning. The next day was quite rough.
I was already pretty primed when I got there, and
Yeah,
I
we-
told you I wasn't going to stay in very long. I had been cocktailing a lot that day.
It was like a fruit fly.
Yeah,
It was by you earlier. Yeah.
No,
but happy birthday to your son though.
yeah?
21st birthday.
Oh, wow.
Just
Okay.
turned 21.
21.
Week ago.
Nice.
How do you feel about that?
What?
Well, it's your first one, turned 21.
Well, the next day wasn't too good after going out. That's
Yeah.
for sure. I didn't feel good at all. But
Do you feel significantly older now?
yeah, it was the weird part was being able to sit with him at the bar. You know what I mean? We've gone, up in Wisconsin. We're out, and as a parent, you can buy your kid a beer.
You're legally allowed. Yep.
Yeah, because of those good old Germans that
But as we learned in Milwaukee, there's certain chains that will not honor that rule.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're part of the business.
Yeah.
So back to it. Do you feel
And I-
older?
Yeah.
In what respect?
Well, he's grayer than he was 6 months ago.
Yeah, the patches are getting a little. The widow's peak's getting
more and more face to wash every day.
Yeah. But when you're sitting there with your son now, and it's legal, and
just.
But it's kind of cool, right? It's like a rite of passage kind of thing, right? Where you're
that was good. Well, the best part was we were up the club.
Yeah.
And some people came up. We went on a fishing trip in the spring, and they were kind of giving them a hard, not a hard time, but joking with them. And one of the guys came up. I told him we were coming up, and he brought him a card, and they bought him all drinks.
Right.
And,
Nice.
Yeah, we had a really good time. We had a great time on the fishing trip, so it was nice to see the guys kind of
good.
Hey, come on in, let's have a beer.
Well, and I had mentioned earlier, continuing it. I mean, we started out as supposed to be a hunting and fishing podcast, which worked out on occasion. But that's one of the things that you're spending a little bit more time. You've got an opportunity with that club now to broaden your horizons and have another opportunity a little bit further down in a lot further south in the southwest.
It's like 4 hours. It's a ride.
Southwest. So
in Illinois?
Yeah.
What town?
Carthage.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
400 acres down there.
Yeah.
So so you've got that opportunity, and with what you showed me on your camera, fucking go for it, dude.
Yeah, well, that was like the day after I put my camera up.
Yeah.
And I've got like one doe after that. It was like we must have kicked him up.
Yeah.
He came out, posed for a picture, and
I told you that the other day we were out in Will County, and we were in the blind. We got in there. We were sitting for maybe 20 minutes. 4:11, 12-pointer comes in. I don't have anything on. I got on my blue
pasties.
No, I got my blue Tottenham jersey with white stripes, and they say that deer can see blue and white are the two colors that they can identify. And I had on blue and white. It was 4:11. Sun was on us. We had the one-way mesh that we bought.
Okay.
And had that up there. Didn't even see us. And normally stuff doesn't come out until like 10 minutes before last shot. And we were both there on our phones and everything, and he just came in, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? So it's like, my point being is that you saw that you had the buck on your camera.
Yeah.
That don't,
well, they're
they
moving.
don't
They're
shit,
moving now, though, too.
They are.
Everybody's posting. I mean, you've seen the buck Bo's got today.
Yeah.
I mean, but everybody's. Last time I was out, I had 3 does come out, and then a buck came out right at last light. But he started following right where those does came out, and he was walking along, and he was doing a scrape. There's a tree line there, and there's a new scrape.
So, what do you think it is? Pre-rut, or are they chasing?
Yeah, they're just starting.
Seeking.
The weather's been oddly warm.
Yeah,
though.
Unfortunately, it's been too warm. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just had that full moon too.
We had that full moon.
Yeah, for like 2 nights.
Yeah, it was almost 3 nights. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, the
it
one
was
night
it was almost full for
it was
the
like
front end of the
daylight out at night.
Yeah.
Well, that one night we were in Will County, and we had
But you work
7.
nights, so you don't really know the difference.
We had 6 or 7 deer come in just before last shot when we were in Will County 2 weeks ago, and it was the one with the full moon.
Yeah.
But it was so cloudy that you couldn't take advantage of the full moon. And Sergeant at Arms Murph could not see his pins and just wung it and took a shot. And we'll leave that for another episode.
Before we get all the hate mail. What are you doing? I better have a sight picture.
But anyway, so you got the opportunity. You hung out at
we don't get any mail anyway.
Yeah.
So keep those cards and letters coming, folks.
Yeah. So you hung out at the other club. You celebrated the 21st birthday, and that's awesome. And I know that you're busy with your daughters, getting ready to start figuring out what she's doing, because she's almost ready to graduate high school too. So things are just going to
cheer
get
season's
even.
cheer season's
You got
coming
cheer,
up.
and I saw you were at the game, and it's just
I'll be at the game. That's where we're doing tomorrow. It's the last home game.
It's supposed to be nice tomorrow
Yeah.
too. Well, rain, but it's 70 tomorrow.
and
Which
to
for
my
the end of October
to my
is pretty
point
good.
was the whole thing is that I just see things getting a lot busier and stuff. And with you got a lot going on because the grandkids are getting.
I have a grandson in high school. He's a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
Man, I thought I was old.
Yeah. Well, I've got mine goes way back. This is what I have a newfound respect and a newfound appreciation for band people. My grandson he was doing baseball and he was doing soccer and he was doing golf, but he loves music. He loves music and he's very musically inclined. He could play guitar. He could play bass guitar, lead guitar. He could play keyboards. He could play drums. He could pick an instrument. He could give him 20 minutes and he'll figure out how to play it.
That's awesome.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
And so he's in a marching band at his high school, and we've been to 2 of his competitions, and then several of the home football games. Like your daughter has cheer. The dedication and the work is as much as any sport that I've ever coached and been involved in.
I was going to say they probably put in more time.
More,
I mean, and choreography between learning the music, playing the music, choreography with all the dance and moving around,
and snare drums, what he plays in the band, and he's moving left and right and doing the dips and doing all, and I'm like, and you like you said, then they practiced in the summer. They did 2-a-days, like high school does. Football does 2-a-days.
Okay,
he would leave the house at 8 a.m. and not come home till 9 at night. And they would feed him, which was great, and they made sure he had water, which is, I guess it's mandatory now. But
got to keep him hydrated. Yeah, don't want him cramping up on the drums.
But and we were in high school, 2-a-days, and
I know.
Yeah, if you got water, you were weak. Yeah. But so I have such a respect for it. And he does so well, and he's a freshman. He's so little compared to the rest of them, but he's doing great. And then the middle one is playing football now, which tackle football. He was doing flag football the last couple of years. He's 11, and watching him play that sport I love seeing it because he's good,
but
quick, he's fast.
It's a little nerve wracking.
It is nerve wracking.
When they get hit.
He's a running back. He's running back, and then he plays cornerback and safety.
Yeah.
And one of the first times I was there by myself. Sheila was out of town, and the first handoff he got, a kid was trying to rip the ball out of his hands. He knocked him away, and he turned and went just bam onto another kid, and he hit the ground, and I'm like, he popped right back up, and I'm like, all right,
stop breathing for a second.
Right,
stop breathing,
right?
Yeah.
So it's and then the youngest Rory, he is doing soccer. So every weekend it was Friday football, Saturday soccer, Sunday football.
Jeez.
Or Friday football with the band.
Okay.
So that's why I haven't been available a lot of times too, because we've been
right. And then in between you're at Chicago Prime Italian.
True.
Yeah.
or Bartolini's. Yeah. Tonight's pizza courtesy of Bartolini's restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks for bringing in the pizza. It's really good. Yeah. Now, how is the new place?
It's
Bartolini's.
It's nice. It's really nice, actually. I think it's less seats but more room, if that makes sense. So it's more open.
Okay.
They had a private room before that they used kind of as their staging. They do a lot of Gold Belly business.
Yeah,
they do a ton of Gold Belly business.
I remember that's the delivery place.
Yeah. And so they deliver all over the country. Yeah. And so now they have a cooler that's separate from the building, and it's like a huge walk. It's bigger than this room. And
for all the deliveries.
And they keep it all in there.
And cool it off and freeze it or whatever.
Well, I got to tell you, I drive by there quite often, and that's night and day. That building and what they did there is beautiful. I think it's like gorgeous. A signature look for them, and not knocking the business that they did when they were in that plaza.
Right.
But
they were
so far off the road.
And they were
so far off the road.
Yeah.
And aesthetically, I mean, they did what they could with that in a strip mall. But their building now that they've got, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
The lights outside.
And it's their building.
And
And they're doing. I saw Dominic tonight. Dominic Bartolini. They're happy. They're busy. The food is good. You've had it tonight.
Yeah.
Food's really
like I said, I still want to try their meatball pizza.
Yeah.
When Phil got it the last time we were there, the big old meatballs all over the pizza. I'm like, oh, that looks so good.
They carry my wine now, which is great.
Do they really?
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Boone's Farm?
Crazy. Boone's Farm and Tickle Pink.
Mad Dog 2020.
I'm just messing with you. But I know your life is busy too, and you got all this stuff going on.
Speaking of getting back to your life and music, how's the banjo going?
Yeah.
So,
because are you going to play with Liam?
We're going to bring it back and say when the last time I played that was the day my brother-in-law died. Oh. I haven't done it since. Not because I haven't wanted to.
Okay.
I was committed to doing 20 minutes to an hour every day, and we had everything was kind of upended for about 2 weeks there because there was issues with him coming home. And my sister-in-law came home the next day. We went and picked her up, and then our nephew came home. So we've been back and forth.
It was a whirlwind.
It was a whirlwind, and for as hard as it was on us, it was a million times harder on their family.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of when you stop something, you've got to really be committed. Just kind of like this, not that we stop this, but we know it just things happen, and it's like, oh, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I'm at with the banjo. Okay. Did I tell you though? Did we talk about this once already on the podcast when my grandson played the music? Caleb, the oldest one. We were having an Irish breakfast at our house, traditional Irish breakfast. If you've seen, if it's the black pudding and we did a boiling bacon, which is also for like a kind of like a brunch call because that's more
Right.
of a
With
dinner
Malort.
meal.
Malort chasers.
Not do Malort. But so I have in our living room, I have a Jack Daniel's barrel, and on it is the banjo on a stand, and my books are with it, and that's why I would practice in the living room and just put it up there, just so it's always.
Sheila would leave.
I did it when she wasn't home, but my wife's nephews have said if a guitar or a banjo needs to be on a stand, you're going to the neck will warp if you just lean against the wall.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting.
So yes, so we went and got a stand for it. A stand is it's two little things like
just
this,
enough to keep it standing up.
right? Yeah. And so it's there and I'm pulling this boiling bacon out of the oven, and it's hot, and I hear in the background pluck, 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 and he walked up to it and did this with it on the barrel, and I go, "Is that Thunderstruck?" And it was the beginning of Thunder, and he did it just from sound. And he's like,
Really?
he goes, "I think so," and he just did doodle doodle doodle. And
Wait a minute. Now, so what's his music background? This is the one who's in the band?
Yeah. He did take keyboard lessons. He took percussion lessons. He's self-taught on the guitar, and he was literally doing the beginning of Thunderstruck by ear.
You know what's crazy is that there's so many people that I've talked to lately, like the boys in I shouldn't say boys, they're not boys anymore. The guys, men in the band Out of Touch, and I was with who else was I with? A couple other people. Guitar seems to be the one where people are self-taught on that. And
Well,
they
and it's
can't read a lick of music.
because you could sit.
Rick
yeah.
You could sit there on your own and just play with it.
I
till
don't
it
get
sounds-
it, man.
till it
Because
sounds right.
when Tanner used to have a guitar, and I would try to, dude, it's a
But so the next day,
terrible.
The next day, I Googled the notes. So I have a liner book of notes for different songs that I'm learning.
Okay.
And Thunderstruck, it's all the lines and the little frets and then all the little things, and it's all these things on the page. And I showed the beginning. I took a screenshot of it, sent it to my wife, my two daughters, and Caleb, and I said, "This is what you played by ear, and this is what I can play." And it was Farajaka, and it was Farajaka. And it was like maybe 9 notes on the whole page.
Yeah.
You did like one
How
year.
How old is he? You said he's in high
14.
school? 14? Yeah.
That's awesome.
See, when you're younger, though, you can...
I can
depth
still do
is-
it. Wait, what are we talking about?
It sinks in a little quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But I'm glad you asked him the banjo thing, because I was going to ask him that.
Yeah, well, as soon as you brought up the music, I'm just like, oh, got to ask him about the banjo.
I want to get back into it. I was taking lessons at Guitar Center, which I'm not going to bash Guitar Center because the guy that was to give me lessons was great. It was just very corporate and very expensive.
Yeah.
And I think there's some other avenues I could take. Like there's the Old Town School of Folk Music that is, I guess, really well regarded, and it's like hippie guys that want to teach music. And I think
Probably
that's
just
my
find
route.
somebody on the side.
you miss
or
it?
something that
I do. Well, I do. I would say I miss it. Yeah. The problem is, not that I'm a perfectionist, because I'm not. I'm a slob. But the things that I do well, I do perfect. And if I can't do it well, I don't do it at all. Yeah. And so when I was getting close to be able to do stuff, and then I stopped. And so now I'm reluctant to go back because I don't want to start over.
So you just
and
said...
you're pretty much going to have to start all the way over.
all the way over.
Okay.
Well, things will come back quick, but yeah. But
So think about what you just said a second ago.
okay,
What did you say?
I don't want to have to start over.
No, you said something along the lines of, if I can't
do it
if I
well,
can't, I don't want to do it at all.
Yeah,
That was my thought about this.
yeah.
That's really where I got to this, is that I feel like,
You don't want to half-ass it.
no, I'm throwing shit and hope it sticks at the wall. And,
Right.
I mean, I'm not a fan of that. Did you get it finally?
I don't know, but it's for you guys.
And that's why I asked you, are you looking forward to getting back to doing it and everything? And again, I'm not opposed to like us getting back together and doing one every once in a while and dropping one.
Like if a special occasion comes up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The election.
Yeah.
We can do an election special.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
That's on my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
I turned 60.
An election
I'm
special.
off on the election day.
Do it during the day. I'll do it that day. It's my birthday.
We'll talk about the election in another
Yes,
segment,
there we
because there's
go.
no way we can avoid it. But I just thought that we would do this first segment and just kind of tie up some loose ends and see how everyone is doing.
I do miss this, though. I do miss this.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, it feels good to be back in here. I was amazed that I could remembered how to hook all this shit off because I
I brought everything to the table tonight that I always did. I brought beer and pizza. My charming personality.
Dude,
I was doing the same thing today, though. You were looking in the boxes. I was.
You're saying the text.
Cameras.
I hope I can get it all figured out.
Yeah. And I was like, oh wait, got to make sure I got all the cables and everything, and then make sure they still hook up to the phone.
In total Windy City redneck fashion.
Yeah, we wait till
always
the day
prepared.
Yeah.
Never.
It's like hunting season right now. You know, and I'm going out there with Murph. You know, I don't have half the shit I need.
Forgot my release.
I've got
this,
5.
Did I bring my arrows?
5 flashlights, right? Yeah. Do you know what I was looking for? A
flashlight?
No, I was using my fucking phone the other night because all 5 of them were dead. All the batteries were dead. So I'm looking for this buck in the woods with the flashlight off of an iPhone, whatever version I'm on. You know, it's like. You know?
All right, so what's drink of choice tonight? You got Stella's.
Yeah.
You got your...
I'm drinking... I'm doing High Noon.
Heavy flow day?
Hey, you know what? And as long as we're talking about happy... You know what? That's the one thing I'm not going to miss. Okay? Is the brutal ball busting. As long as we're talking about drinks of choice, though, shout out to...
Horse Thief Hollow?
Horse Thief Hollow.
Yeah, I heard they got their booze in the local Legion.
So at the American Legion now, 854 Evergreen Park, we've got Little Wing on tap.
That stuff's good, too.
Do they still have 2 for $5 old style drafts?
Yeah, for you.
Right, good. Yeah.
But let me ask you this.
Because I was down at O'Rourke's and they have it on tap down there, which is down the street.
Little Wing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Wing.
I started drinking those since we brought it in. Because I believe in being loyal to
good for you.
And
I'm happy to hear
it's a little more expensive, but it's definitely well worth it.
But I don't know,
and the more of that,
man.
the better.
It's still only a 5.2.
That's a lot. No, it's got to be more than
shit
that.
fucks me up. It's 5.2, and I think he's full of shit. Because I had 3 of those, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, we were at Southside Dart League.
Wasn't it?
No,
at O'Rourke's for Southside.
What's in these?
These are like 3.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So it's twice as potent.
We were at O'Rourke's for like a tournament the one night, and I started drinking it, and it was a rough.
Okay, so then it makes sense.
Yeah, I was drinking.
Have you ever seen that chart
draft
about alcohol, like 1 shot, 2 beers, and a glass of wine are equal? You know that, and the reason being is 2 beers are about the same amount of alcohol as 1 drink or 1 glass of wine.
Well, I had like 3 Little Wings.
No, they do. They do have a little more of a kick.
And I
they
felt really
more
good.
Of a kick than,
There's some that are. Tailgating at the Bears game last game, this guy had this small can of it looked like a shot-sized can of beer. And I'm like, what is that? And it's 18%. He goes, they don't sell it. They have to sell it by law in that size can.
Oh, they can't because it's too much.
Because it's too, it would knock you on your ass.
Yeah, but what is
like when we go to whatchamacallit, Hailstorm? You look up there and they got all the alcohol by them. Same thing. They got it at.
But I think almost.
But I bet most of them are 5 or above.
I didn't know that. I didn't know regular beer was in the 3s. I thought everything was 5.
Some of them are like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Well, we're serving Annexation, which is a Horse Thief one. That's a 7.2.
That's a 7.2.
That's
now is it an IPA?
It's an IPA. Yeah.
So what glasses do they serve them in there?
Whichever ones are clean.
Wow, because certain ones above us, they're supposed to be in the little bowls, and that's part of it is the size, and the other part is so the aroma comes.
So the aroma gets through. Yeah. And then I remember I was up in a bar up in Wisconsin, and the one guy was yelling at the girl in the kitchen, "You don't drink milk out of a pint glass." And she was drinking the milk out because you're supposed to just rinse them off. And it was like
because milk, you'd have to actually clean it.
Yeah, it leaves a film on the glass.
Oh,
and,
okay.
So and then like you just said at the Legion, whichever one's clean.
Yeah, well, we are clean there, but I mean,
that place is immaculate.
Huh?
That place is immaculate.
Oh, dude, I was there this morning changing the video board. And a cleaning crew's in there at 6 o'clock this morning getting ready.
But 2
it
for
takes some
$5
hours.
taps, old styles, about as good as it gets.
Yeah,
and
we have PBR.
It's like a Surdick, can't beat it.
Yeah. But and I saw Neil.
You could just drink something else.
I saw Neil and Morrison at Oktoberfest, at Evergreen Park's Oktoberfest, and had a good conversation with them. And that's when our senior vice commander Matt struck a deal with them. And he's like, "Hey, dude, we're a perfect match. You guys sell beer, you make beer, we drink beer.
Yeah, there you go.
You're a veteran, let's bring it in."
Yeah.
And 3 days later, we had 2 Horse Thief Hollow taps.
Support that as much as you
Neil's
can.
about?
That's great. Yeah.
Neil's not. Morrison is. Morrison
yeah,
was a Marine.
Yeah.
And everybody makes fun of me for, and you already did tonight, because Chicago Prime Italian.
I didn't make fun of Chicago Prime.
You kind of did. You made fun of me for going there.
I did not.
Well, you kind of did. You did.
About spending this time there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second.
We're talking about what we're
I
doing
was
with our
not
time.
making fun. I wasn't making
The
fun.
second
Of you. I mean, I spend my time
I wish I just had the money to go to the bar every night.
Locally owned, a lot like Bartolini's, a lot like their Schaumburg has a ton of chains.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. A ton of chains. And chains are good. Chains are, they have their place.
Yeah, as long as they keep the food good.
Yeah. But like Chris Bartolini says, he tries to take, he wants to have people that work for him that can sustain a family and work there.
Yeah.
Same with my friend that owns Chicago Prime Italian.
Yeah. Neil was Neil was the same way when we talked to him, because we were talking about COVID and stuff like that, and it was amazing how he was able to keep all his people working. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it was all about, hey, I got to take care of these people. These people take care of me, and run my business, and my food is good because I got good people.
And I know we'll do our shout outs at the end, because we always do, or I assume we will. We haven't talked about it, but you know what that guy did for me? When the Bears were in London, right, 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Or was it last week? It was
just
2 weeks.
last
They were
week.
off. They were
Yeah,
off.
they were
last
off
week.
last
So
week.
2 weeks
Yeah,
ago,
Sundays, so.
2 Sundays ago, he opened up at 7 in the morning.
Oh, so
we tailgated in the parking lot at 7. He got there at 7:30. It was myself, my wife, a friend of mine Ken, and a friend of mine Sean.
I've seen some posts out there.
We tailgated till he got there, which we set. You saw the picture. We did a whole tailgate, and then he opened up and did a simple menu. He opened it up to anybody, but he opened it for me.
Because he knew you wanted.
Well, I said, hey, you're gonna open for the game? Like, what game? Like the Bears, they played 8:30 in the morning. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So a chain wouldn't do that.
No.
I called this place in town. They said, hey, they open at 9, and I said, would you be willing to open at 8:30? Because I didn't want to put that pressure on this guy. But he did, and he opened for it. But the woman goes, I'll call you back. She calls me back. She goes, we were opening at 9. We open at 9 corporately. I was told to tell you that doors will be open at 9. Yes. Yeah. So that's why I support local, and the more you do, like for Hailstorm, and of course you follow the.
Yeah, I'm sure Neil, like if you talk to him about like that, and says a little,
and the more of that, the better.
Give him a little heads up.
Yeah, support your tailor, your dry cleaner. That there's
comes around, goes around.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
just like
beer.
this fly.
Yeah, the one single.
Shop at Tony's or smaller stores.
Yeah,
Benny's is a shame, but they're local. They're local too. I mean, I'll say Benny's is great, but they're local.
So did you see who went to Kenwood?
Who?
The Hulkster.
Oh, did he really?
He was at Kenwood.
Wait, which Kenwood? The one in here?
The one here in Oak Lawn.
Okay.
Really? Yeah.
Because there's only 2 open. There's only 2 left now. The one on Stone Island.
In Orland.
closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Homer. I think it's technically
yeah, Homer Glen, Orland, whatever it is.
59.
But yeah, the Hulkster was at Kenwood in Oak Lawn.
Did you go?
He's got no. I sent him an email trying to get him to go to the Legion, and he respectfully said he did not have enough time, but would have loved to.
Oh, that's cool.
It was one of his people. They replied.
Yeah, but still, he got a reply.
I did through Facebook, Facebook Messenger, and they actually replied, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it reminds me. And when I was sending it, I was like, remember when we were trying to get on candidates for governor?
Yeah,
and we had on the guy that owns the paving company. What's
Salvi? No, that's
no.
Attorney.
No.
He ran for governor. Though.
The one. Rabin.
Rabin. Oh, yeah. He got a Schaumburg. His place is out of Schaumburg.
He was the only.
I met him.
He was the only candidate that responded. They responded like 3 or 4 times. So we were trying to do it at Rosie's. Remember that?
Okay.
And
it's a shame that he didn't get the. He was doing it for the right reasons.
But here's my point in business, and you're in business, and you get it with all the things you do and everything. You would rather hear, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I can't."
Yeah, at least
a reply.
Some answer
instead of just no answer. So I try so hard with the stuff that I do to at least respond. And even if I don't have an answer or anything, it's
he won't answer a text.
Yeah, I know.
He still won't tell me.
Or no, I'll text you, and then you try calling him like a minute later, and then he doesn't answer the phone.
That's because I was looking for all of these chords that I had no idea where any of these. He's calling me, texting me for these chords. I'm like, I don't know. Which is this it?
Is this
it's been a long time.
Can we save this for the break?
Yeah.
Do you believe we're 40 minutes in already?
Are we? Yeah, we are.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe we should take a break. Do we have anything else we want to? Any more beer talk or anything, and then we'll get into the next.
Beer's good.
Next
Beer's
one.
Good. I'm drinking Schlitz.
So
another beer I fell in love with tailgating. Yeah.
Okay.
So my neighbor Don Smith, the original neighbor, when I moved in,
a witness relocation.
No, so when I moved in, So when I moved in here,
Brother John.
Yeah. He's in waste management.
32 years ago. Don Smith, great guy who played harmonica. He was a World War II vet, and he played the harmonica out there on a side thing. And I would cut his lawn for him. He was an older gentleman,
But
obviously.
that was part of your release.
And I would cut his lawn,
Work release program.
and I never expected anything out of it. And then all of a sudden one day, I was out there, and he said, "Hey, I got you some beer. Thanks for cutting my lawn. I got you some beer." He got me a 12-pack.
Of Schlitz?
Schlitz Light.
Schlitz Light.
They had light.
Dude, I'm telling you. I'm like, I didn't even know they still made Schlitz. No one drank.
Well,
the only time we drank.
it went away for a while, and
only-
it's been back for the last couple of years.
Yeah, but Schlitz, the only time you could find Schlitz is when you'd go up to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
You could drink Schlitz up there, and Falstaff. Was it Falstaff or
Falstaff, Platts.
Yeah,
Platts you can still get here.
Yeah.
But at the venue's right
And-
here.
Hams.
But
Hams,
anyway,
you can still get hams, cans
it
only.
was-
Hams is made by Miller now.
It was Schlitz Light. I wasn't even aware they were
Stroh's,
still
you can still
making.
get Stroh's.
Well, our buddy
Stroh's
John,
Light.
our buddy Jay Bird, he used to, for his graduation party, he had a keg of Stroh's.
Wow.
Do you remember that? That was
Shields' brother used to drink
Well, we used to do
Stroh's.
Stroh's. I mean, I think were they the original ones with 30 packs?
Yeah, and the pounder bottles. Remember, there was like the pint bottles.
And then who was the one?
Olympia had the party ball.
cakes, the
Yeah,
party ball
the
cakes. I
Olympia
remember
party
the original
ball, yeah.
party ball was Olympia, and then it was Coors Light and it was Bud Light.
Yeah, but when I was a little kid, do you remember the little hams had the little keggers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the
they had,
can
the,
with
and
12
they had
ounce
the
cans.
baby tapper.
Yeah.
And they looked like this.
Well, like
they were
now
the
they have
silver
that
keg.
with it's Dab does one, Heineken I think does one.
Yeah, they
as
got,
well.
Yeah, they got a couple of things out there.
Yeah, shout out to Teresa McGreevy. We were in March, right after before we did our last show. We went to Florida, shopping at a liquor store, and she's like, "Let's get one of those Heineken kegs for that hot tub." And sure, great call.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That sounds good. I don't have a hot tub, sorry.
Well, it was at a hotel we were staying. It was in Florida.
Well,
in March,
this
as
isn't
I
a
said.
hotel
I don't know if
either,
you're
so-
listening. So.
Well, you did
Listening
offer
skill.
him to stay.
We'll take-
so
we'll
you
take a
gotta-
break?
gotta
He
make
did.
sure
He
you-
did.
We'll take a break.
He
and
wants that
then,
continental breakfast in the morning.
Home alone, so I didn't.
we're going to take a break. When we come back,
Pick it on him. We're going to
another segment. You're listening to Windy City Redneck, the podcast. The final episodes. Countdown in reverse. 3, 2, 1. This is number 3. Back in a little bit.